Mama just beat my dad. Hey guys, Ryan Melrose here and welcome to another dose of What-Ifery. And today we are continuing with one of my personal favourites, and that is, what if Bardock stopped Lord Freeza? You see, by unifying the entire Saiyan race to transform into the Great Ape form, they were able to initiate a counter-assault and put an end to the Galactic Emperor once and for all. Bardock had freed his people from that tyranny and slavery. But in the following months, as we know, King Vegeta began to become jealous of Bardock and all the worship. Why are these guys worshipping this guy? I am the king. I am King Vegeta. I should be getting this worship. And of course, King Vegeta cut a deal with King Cold and ultimately tried to sell Bardock out. But if it weren't for the foresight given to him from the Canassin, Bardock saw King Vegeta's betrayal coming and was able to fix the problem. King Vegeta was ultimately killed for his treachery and for betraying the Saiyan race, the people he's sworn to protect. Which of course ended with Bardock achieving the transformation to Super Saiyan and putting an end to King Cold. Once and for all, freeing the Saiyan race. And Bardock has since then spent liberating every planet that they conquered in Freeza and King Cold's name and have begun restoring honor to the Saiyan race. And now with the remaining Freeza force on the run, are the Saiyans still destroying planets? No. Instead, they are being paid to protect planets from any other rising evil. And that has restored the Saiyan race. And as we know from our little side story, Gine actually got to spend time with her little son Kakarot, who they sent off the world prior to defeating Freeza, in case they failed and the plan went. And the plan went sideways. And that led to Gine getting to know her son, and ultimately the overall story of Dragon Ball pretty much went on per normal, except Gine had a few appearances and was able to get stronger because of it. And by the time the Piccolo Jr. was saga and Goku ultimately gets married to Chi-Chi, she finally returns to planet Vegeta, where she had a bit of a training session with her husband Bardock. And even though her power level is less than 2,000 at this point, she managed to take Bardock on in his base form due to the fact that Bardock was caught unaware from all these different martial arts and fighting moves she was displaying, as well as the ability she picked up on Earth, how to sense energy without a scouter, and of course, how to suppress her real power and channel it up whenever she needs it. And this actually led to Bardock ultimately getting bested. And that's how Saiyans bond. Through battle and conflict. Truly, such a romantic relationship. Anyway, now where we last left off this story, it is time to answer the question I left in the poll for you guys to vote on. Bardock and Gine's now third Saiyan child. Boy or a girl? And per your vote, you have chosen a girl, with 66% wanted a daughter, while 33% wanted a boy. So, girl it is. And the name suggestion that got the most likes, which I got to admit, I really like too. I'm actually glad this one got the most likes. Barney. The combination of Bardock and Gine's name. Barney. And she is just the most precious thing. Let's get a shot of that. Isn't she just cute? Alright, so, the days of the Saiyans these days, things are actually pretty peaceful. In a way, the Saiyans have ultimately become what they are in Universe 6 on planet Sadala. The Universe 6 Saiyans are ultimately peacekeepers who get paid to protect planets. Just like now, the Saiyans in this what-if story have become, through Bardock's leadership, getting rid of this lower class and higher class thinking that Freeza has bestowed upon him, and just redeeming the Saiyan race. And the Saiyans are pretty much able to freely travel to as many planets as they like and meet new people, try all the delicacies, of course, because Saiyans love food. And as for little Barney, she's, we're going for a bit of a time skip here. It has now been 5 years, and Barney, she's about the same age as Goku and Chi-Chi's kid Gohan from the original story. So we're about crossing into where Dragon Ball Z would have started originally. And Barney is just a 5-year-old. Does she train and fight just like the other Saiyans? Yes, of course she does. But she's like every other member of that particular Saiyan family. She's a bit different. It actually seems like when she trains, she's only just going through the motions. It seems like she's holding back. Her latent potential is actually unknown. But when she trains, she's almost at par with Raditz and Vegeta, who are still having their training sessions with Bardock. Your little sister's catching up to us bit by bit, Raditz. Yeah, I know. Makes me proud. And Vegeta just sort of figuring, you know, Vegeta, he always stands in that particular pose, looking grumpy. And, mostly for Barney, she's just enjoying being a kid. And she really likes spending time with Uncle Nappa. And helping him out with his garden, because Nappa enjoys gardening. Whenever he wasn't, back when Nappa was a part of the Freeza Force, whenever he wasn't conquering planets in the name of Freeza, he was in the nursery, planting all the Cybermens, looking after them, as well as the other plants that were going on in there. So gardening is a bit of a hobby for Nappa, and since now that we're in peace times with the Saiyans, he's really gone into doing his own garden. And Barney just loves to come by and help him out. Hey, Barney, are you gonna help me plant these tulips today? You watch, one day these are gonna be beautiful flowers. And Barney's just happy to be part of it. And while all that's going on, what is Gine up to these days? Is she still like the Saiyan cook who just cooks the meals for all the Saiyans? Yes and no. Gine does love cooking. She does love to cook. It's a hidden passion of hers, because earlier in the story she wasn't really much of a fighter, but since she has these abilities she picked up on Earth, she is of some use to the overall development of the Saiyans. And since then, she has pushed her power to new heights. After all these sparring sessions with her husband, She is now in charge of training up the lower class and teaching them how to sense energy and suppress their power levels. This will be handy for when they have to battle superior opponents, or or should Freeza's men ever return. And Gine is quite enjoying this. She's enjoying being the top dog around here at the moment. And after all the training's done, she is happy to cook everyone a big meal for all their hard work. After all, Gine is quite the kind, caring and compassionate Saiyan. Even more so than what the Saiyan race is starting to become now. Could say she's ahead of the curve, so to speak. Now, is this the end? Is this where we're going to end this story? Heck no. Because Bardock has actually been getting some troubling signs. Remember, Bardock has the foresight from Kanasa, that he got from the Kanassans, and they still hit him at random times. And lately he's been having troubling visions of planets being blown up and destroyed. Some of these planets look familiar. Some of the planets that the Saiyans have now been protecting or have liberated. Explosions going off everywhere, but all Bardock can really make out as to who's behind this is just a bit of a dark silhouette in the smoke of one of the rubbled cities. It looks strangely familiar. And I think that is where we're going to leave things for right now. So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you like this installment? Do you want to know? Do you want a side video on what Goku is currently doing? Because remember, with this story, we don't really have the whole Raditz coming to Earth, picking a fight, the battle against Vegeta and Nappa, and the Freeza saga has been completely wiped out. So, do we want a side video on how Goku's developing his powers without any of this, of the original story really playing out the same? Anyway, let me know in the comments. In fact, I'll leave a poll for that. You can vote on that. If we get enough votes, I will definitely do a side video to catch up on what Goku is doing, because we haven't seen the last of him just yet. Although I suppose once we get to his chapter, I can always just fill you in then on what's been going on with Goku. But yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying this, and just who is this mysterious new enemy who's going around destroying planets, who seems somewhat familiar to Bardock. Alright, catch you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe.